All right.
Go.
All right. Hello, welcome. This is gonna be my speech for the speech class. Hi, hello. You looking at me? Okay. So this is gonna be something. Okay. So all right. So true crime. It's gotten really popular nowadays. It's become it's a really interesting form of entertainment that people have consumed over the years because people love hearing stories of murder and how things happen and how they catch and you know what I mean. So. And no place has a bigger platform for true crime shows than Netflix, right? So it has over 40 original shows, all of them ranging from like respectful to the more avant-garde is something just really nasty stuff, right? So this includes the topic of our discussion for tonight, which would be Monster, the story of Jeffrey Dahmer. You guys know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, right? He was the Milwaukee Monster. He killed people. He was a very kind of person, right? So this new show, the new show, what it wanted to do, or at least what it said that it wanted to do, was that it wanted to sort of give respects to the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer and kind of show like the whole story of why things happened. And here's the thing, this show, it's really well made. It has great actors. It has Evan Peters from American Horror Story. He's acting as Jeffrey Dahmer, and he's good. He does a good job. Like the show is well done, and honestly, it works as a horror show, right? It works as horror. Like you get scared, you get worried, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. The problem comes in the fact that all that is like that's the problem comes in the fact that the victims kind of get pushed aside. Oh God. Keep going. Anyway, the point is, the show disrespects the victims, and I'll tell you why. So here's the thing. Most of the time, the problem with this show and most shows like this is that it's presented with two questions. The question is, how do we tell the story informatively, and how do we use it as entertainment? And see, usually, here's the thing, television is a business. It thrives on ratings and audience retention, right? Just basically, how long will a person sit down on a couch and watch a show? And how long they'll watch it for, right? And so, typically, with these kinds of businesses, you have to do more stuff for it, right? You have to constantly like show the audience new things. You gotta add music. You gotta fucking they didn't hear it. You gotta do a thing, right? You gotta like constantly keep their attention, there. And sometimes you have to kind of like be a bit more artful with it, colorful, a bit more avant-garde. That's fine, except when it comes to true crime, like stories that actually happen to other people. You can't really, make the murderer a monster for TV, because at that point you're not really respecting the victims. You kind of just they become fodder for consumption and merchandising. They become nothing more than objects to kind of show, oh, look how scary this guy is. And that's ultimately that's damaging to the images of these people. And it kind of like, here's another thing, right? People love horror movies, right? They love horror. They love Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, etc., right? That's fine, because guess what? They're fictional. They're not real. Sure, they might be inspired by a couple of real events, but half the time they're fake. They won't hurt anybody. They don't hurt anybody. It becomes a different problem when you use that on the actual people. And at that point, you're kind of just sensationalizing everything. You're not trying to tell story with facts. You're just trying to tell it and make it. You're trying to pretty it up. It's like trying to it's like stuffing a cat. Stuffing a dead cat. That cat is dead. It's disgusting. It flies around it, and yet you stuff it anyway, and you display it for everybody to see. That's essentially what these shows are. They're just sensationalizing true facts and basically making life harder for the victims by doing this. Like they bring unwarranted attention. They basically remind these people of like, oh yeah, by the way, guess what? Your dad, he's dead now. It's like it's disturbing and disgusting. And what makes it worse is that Hollywood is essentially doing this for a profit. It's getting all this money because of it and not giving none to the victims, which is like already worse, right? And not only that, but it's like not only this, but the almost irresponsible way it handles everything, it leads to people getting the wrong idea, and this could either inspire people who would copy the murderer's actions, or it would spark fandoms who would worship and fetishize and sexualize this killer's actions, all because of the way it was presented on a TV show. And especially with technology nowadays, social media, Instagram and stuff, it becomes worse. And so the real question is, why? Why do we do this? Why do we make these well-made shows? Why do we make these billion-dollar productions for people who don't deserve it? Why are we giving more attention to somebody who absolutely does not deserve it? They should be left to rot in this realm of irrelevance. I don't know why. Like, I guess it's morbid curiosity, but if it's the case of morbid curiosity, then why don't people just go watch a horror movie or watch something else? Or maybe just watch a documentary. Because most of the time when people watch this, you just want to know, oh, how did it happen? Watch a documentary. You don't need to watch these billion-dollar productions that absolutely defecate all over the victims' wishes. You know, so it's like, we don't need to sensationalize things like this, you know, especially when it comes to true facts. Well, yeah, I get it. Like, hey, maybe you want to, like, you know, shoot it a bit more artistically. Well, in doing so, you kind of, you know, sometimes art is good, but sometimes, you know, you can't sacrifice art for facts, because if you do that, then it just kind of, it kind of just makes it sound like it doesn't really matter, because, you know, it's just all of these things. It's essentially taking these real life tragedies and making money off them, which is already like an abhorrent thing to do. And so, you know, I guess the point, what I'm trying to say is that if you really want to know anything about true crime, just go watch a documentary. You know, don't support these billion-dollar productions that just show no respect to the victims. You know, why can't we just treat these things with a bit more subtlety and not try to like make these people into products essentially? You know. And well, all right. Well, that's my point. Thank you all for listening. Thank you so much. How long was that?